A very good morning to you all. Today we'll be continuing with the second part of glass ionomer cement. Coming to the indications, the uses or indications for glass ionomer cement are: number 1, for the restoration of permanent teeth. In permanent teeth, glass ionomer cement can be used for class 5, class 3 and small class 1 tooth preparations. It can also be used in abrasion and erosion defects. It can also be used where there is root caries. Then comes for restoration of deciduous teeth. Class 1 to class 6 tooth preparations can be restored with GIC in deciduous teeth and also in rampant and nursing bottle caries. Now, GIC as luting or cementing for luting or cementing. Metal restorations, inlay or onlay crowns can be cemented with GIC. Non-metal restorations like composite inlays and onlays can also be cemented with glass ionomer cement. Veneers, pins and posts, orthodontic bonds and brackets can also be luted with GIC. Then preventive restorations like tunnel preparation and pit and fissure sealants can also be restored with GIC. GIC can also be used as a protective liner and base under composite, amalgam and cast restorations because of its adhesive nature and biocompatibility. It is also used as a repair material to repair marginal gaps in inlays, onlays and crowns. It is used as a core buildup before full coverage restorations. It is used for splinting of the teeth. It is used as interim restoration for long-term temporary restoration of teeth with questionable pulpal status. Now coming, its use in endodontics. It is used for restoration of access cavity as root canal sealer. It can also be used for the repair of external root resorption and the repair of perforation. And other restorative techniques like sandwich technique, atraumatic restorative technique or atraumatic restorative treatment or bonded restorations. These are other restorative techniques where glass ionomer cement can be used. Coming to the properties. Physical. Number 1, physical. GIC has high compressive strength, high modulus of elasticity, but low fracture toughness, flexure strength and wear resistance. This makes GIC hard but brittle, and therefore it should not be used in high stress bearing areas. That is the reason why it is used in class 5 restorations and root caries mostly, and in small class 1 and class 2 preparations and also in class 3 preparations. So, where there is high stress bearing area, there GIC cannot be used. Now, the second property, water sensitivity. Conventional GIC is sensitive to moisture contamination during initial stage of setting reaction and desiccation when the cement begins to harden. Desiccation is loss of moisture when the material starts giving away moisture. So, that is desiccation. So, that means during the initial stage of setting, GIC is sensitive to both moisture contamination and desiccation. Therefore, to prevent moisture contamination and desiccation of freshly placed cement, the surface of the restoration should be covered by a low viscosity bonding resin, varnish or Vaseline. Therefore, after doing a restoration with glass ionomer cement, it is mandatory to protect it protect its surface with the help of a bonding resin, varnish or Vaseline. So, these kind of surface protecting agents are used to control the give and take of the moisture that happens during the setting reaction. Here you can see in this diagram how GIC shows sensitivity to water uptake and loss during its initial setting stage. This may affect its physical properties. During the 24 hours, water is taken up and water is taken out during the next in the initial setting and also during the 6 months. Coming to the adhesion, glass ionomer cements are adhesives to tooth structure. Adhesion is because of chelation between carboxyl groups of the cement and calcium of the tooth structure. This we have already discussed in the setting reaction part, that an ion exchange occurs through chelation, and there is adhesion because of the chelation between the carboxyl groups of the cement and the calcium of the tooth structure. Since removal of smear layer results in better adhesion, it is always preferred to condition the tooth surface before placing GIC restoration. Commonly used conditioner is 10 to 25% polyacrylic acid, which is applied for 10 to 15 seconds. Now comes fluoride release, which is one of the most important properties of GIC, because of which it is such a desirable material today in dentistry. As I earlier told you, adhesion and fluoride release are its two most important properties. Now, GIC contains 10 to 23% fluoride, which lies free in the matrix. It is released from the glass ionomer powder at the time of mixing. Fluoride release shows peak in first 24 hours after the mixing. After this, the rate of fluoride release decreases over weeks, and finally it stabilizes at a constant level in the next 3 to 4 months. That means that fluoride release is constant during the life of the restoration, and it is also it shows peak in the first 24 hours after the mixing, and after this the rate of the fluoride release decreases over weeks and it stabilizes at a constant level in 3 to 4 months. Then comes margin adaptation and leakage. The coefficient of thermal expansion of the GIC is almost similar to that of the tooth. Therefore, good marginal adaptation of the glass ionomer restoration is there, and this is the reason that because of the good marginal adaptation, there is less leakage, less chance of leakage. Coming to the aesthetics and biocompatibility part, in glass ionomer cements, the translucency gets better over the first 24 hours. These are tooth colored cements and they have shown good color stability. They are also available in different shades. These materials also show good biocompatibility. One of the reasons is because polyacrylic acid present in the liquid is a weak acid. Now coming to radio opacity, conventional glass ionomer cements are radiolucent, but metal modified and resin modified glass ionomers are radio opaque because of the presence of silver and heavy metal salts respectively. Now we will be coming to the clinical steps for placement. The steps are: number 1, isolation; tooth preparation; number 2, number 3, mixing; number 4, restoration; number 5, finishing and polishing; and then finally number 6, surface protection. Coming to the isolation, saliva control is very important for successful glass ionomer restoration. As you know, it is moisture sensitive in nature. The material is moisture sensitive. If moisture contaminates the cement during manipulation and setting, the gel will weaken and wash out prematurely. Therefore, it is very important that saliva control methods should be used. Commonly used methods for isolation are rubber dam, retraction cords, cotton rolls, and saliva ejectors. Tooth preparation for GIC is done in two ways. First is mechanical preparation and the second is chemical preparation. Coming to the mechanical preparation, GIC can be used for class 3, class 5, small class 1 and 2 tooth preparations. Following preparation of the teeth, if the cavity is deep in deeply excavated areas, that is within 0.5 mm of the pulp, these areas may need protection with a calcium hydroxide liner. Here you can see class 3 tooth preparation for glass ionomer, where access is always made through the lingual side of the tooth, through the lingual marginal ridge. Then you can see how retention grooves are made in the class 5 tooth preparation for GIC. Now coming to chemical preparation, which is also known as conditioning. For better adhesion of GIC to tooth structure, many conditioning agents have been used. These are 50% citric acid, 10% EDTA, 20% polyacrylic acid, 3% hydrogen peroxide and 25% tannic acid. In these products, polyacrylic acid is the most commonly used conditioner. Additionally, some resin modified glass ionomers and all compomers use an intermediary bonding agent to facilitate bonding, because these kinds of materials, resin modified and compomers, they are treated like composites. Just like we apply the composite, we apply a bonding agent before applying the composite, we cure the composite. In the same way, applying of a bonding agent and curing is done in resin modified glass ionomers and compomers. It should be noted that not all glass ionomer systems require dentine etching. This photograph shows a conditioner used for chemical preparation for glass ionomer. This is the dentine conditioner. Now mixing. Mixing should be done using powder liquid ratio as recommended by the manufacturer. So powder liquid ratio can vary according to the different types of manufacturers. Mixing should be done at room temperature for 40 to 60 seconds on a cool and dry glass slab or paper pad with the help of a flat and firm plastic spatula. So it is very important that if we use a glass slab, it should be cool and it should be dry. And we can also use a paper pad, and the instrument that is used for mixing is a flat and firm plastic spatula. The encapsulated versions for triturated mixing are also available. Such systems are recommended because they optimize and simplify the mixing procedure and also facilitate insertion through direct injection into the preparation. That means encapsulated versions are also used of GIC, which can be pre-mixed for through trituration, and then after that mixing procedure is thus simplified and they are inserted with the help of a direct injection technique into the preparation. For mixing, divide the dispensed cement powder into two equal parts. Mix first portion into the liquid in 20 seconds and then add the remaining powder and mix for another 20 seconds in folding motion. Mixing should be completed within 40 to 60 seconds because that is the mixing time. And working time for the glass ionomer cement is 60 to 90 seconds. If the cement is not placed within this after working time, so there will be a loss of gloss on the surface of the mixed cement. And loss of gloss on the surface of the mixed cement shows end of working time and start of the setting reaction. That means after the working time, the setting reaction starts, and within this working time, the cement has to be placed inside the cavity preparation. cement should be used before it loses its glossiness. That means as long as the cement is glossy, it must be used. If the gloss is lost, the cement would not wet the tooth surface well and bond strength will be reduced. Here you can see the dispensing of powder and liquid of GIC for mixing, and there is also freshly mixed GIC. This is how a freshly mixed GIC looks after it is mixed, and this shows how it should be glossy and it should not lose its glossiness before you put it inside the cavity preparation. Coming to the restoration, after mixing, glass enamel cement is carried with the help of cement carrier for placement into the prepared tooth. For optimal restoration and to reduce the number of voids, use of matrix is always advisable. A cervical plastic matrix strip is used. That also helps in contouring the restoration, and it is very useful in reducing the number of voids, and it also acts as a surface protection. So after placing the cement, the gross excess is removed immediately and final contouring is done. So the moment you place the cement, the gross excess should be removed, and also it is important that the material should be placed into the preparation in slight excess, so that when you do the gross contouring, the restoration doesn't go under the under the margins of the cavity. So it is very important that the material should be placed into the preparation in slight excess, and it must be quickly shaped with a composite instrument. So the moment you remove the matrix, the restoration should be quickly shaped with a composite instrument. In this way, the initial contouring of the restoration is done. In case of chemically cured glass enamel or self-cured glass enamel, matrix is held till the initial hardening of the cement starts. That means matrix is to be held there till the initial hardening of the cement starts, approximately 4 to 5 minutes. But in the case of light cured glass enamels, photo activation can be done for accelerated setting. That means in light cured glass enamels, light curing can be done immediately after placing of the restoration, and the step of surface protection with a matrix can be with a matrix, or the surface protection with the help of light cure resin or Vaseline. That step can be skipped, because the light cured glass enamels are not that sensitive to moisture and drying and desiccation. Now coming to the finishing and polishing. As we know, the surface of the glass enamel is sensitive to both moisture contamination and desiccation. Therefore, during the initial phase of the setting, it is always preferred to delay finishing and polishing of the glass enamel cement. That means the final contouring, finishing and polishing of the glass enamel cement should be delayed for at least 24 hours after the cement placement, because by then the surface of the restoration attains ionic equilibrium in the environment. But in the case of resin modified glass enamel cement or light cured cements, as I already told you, finishing is started after their placement. So here surface protection is also not required, and finishing can be done immediately after the placement of the material. After placing the restoration, The gross finishing is done following the matrix removal. That means after placing of the restoration, the matrix band, the cervical matrix strip that was used, it is placed there for few minutes, and after that the gross contouring is done after the matrix is removed. Before starting the finishing procedure or even the contouring procedure, the surface of the restoration is coated with a protective agent. It is very important that before you do any kind of gross finishing or gross contouring, the surface of the restoration must be protected with a protective agent like Vaseline or varnish or a low viscosity bonding resin. So gross contouring can be done with the help of a composite instrument, and then the patient is sent back after again applying the surface protecting agent, and then after 24 hours the patient is called back. And then the final finishing and polishing of the restoration is done. A sharp knife is used to remove the extra cement. For this, rotary or hand cutting instruments can also be used, though it is believed that hand cutting instruments may tear or pull the restoration margins, leading to marginal breakdown. But still, as much as possible of the contouring and finishing should be accomplished with hand instruments, while striving to preserve the smooth surface that occurs upon setting. This can be done with the help of a surface protecting agent. So basically we need to lubricate the surface with the help of a surface protecting agent to avoid the desiccation of the surface while we are doing the finishing of the surface with the help of a hand instrument. If this procedure, if this step is carefully followed, then tearing or pulling of the restoration margins will not occur. If the rotary instrumentation is needed at all, then care must be taken not to dehydrate the surface of the restoration, and this also can be done while using a lubricant like petroleum jelly that can be used along with the rotary instruments while doing the finishing of the restoration. Final finishing of the restoration is done with the help of superfine diamond points, Soflex discs and abrasive strips in moist condition. In moist condition means using a protective agent like a petroleum jelly. So initial finishing can be done with the help of a hand instrument, and final finishing can be done with the help of rotary instruments. After final finishing and polishing is done, the surface of the restoration is again protected using petroleum jelly, varnish or bonding agent. So the last step is surface protection. Since glass ionomers show sensitivity to both moisture contamination and surface desiccation, the newly placed restoration must always be protected immediately after matrix removal so as to prevent water exchange. So, it is very important that immediately after matrix removal, when we place the restoration, when the restoration is placed inside the cavity, and after we apply the matrix and we take away the cervical plastic matrix strip, after that we must immediately protect the restoration with the help of a surface protecting agent so as to prevent any kind of water exchange. This can be done with the help of resin bonding agent, cocoa butter, petroleum jelly or varnish. Among these, resin bonding agents provide the best surface protection as they fill the microporosities of the surface in a better way, and they stay for longer time in comparison to other kind of agents. So we can see that how important is surface protection. That before even contouring the restoration, we should protect the surface of the restoration. During we are doing the contouring and finishing of the restoration and polishing the restoration, during that time also we need to protect the surface with some kind of lubricant, and after the restoration is done, the final finishing and polishing is done, after that also we need to protect the surface of the restoration with a surface protecting agent so as to prevent any kind of loss of water or any kind of water uptake in future, because setting takes time. Setting doesn't occur in a few minutes. There's a particular time of the setting. Initial setting, there is initial setting, there is final setting, and even after that there can be water intake or uptake, since the material is sensitive to moisture. So it is very important that surface protection must be done. So here glass ionomers cement as a topic finishes. Thank you.